I know that these are the traits of gang stalkers to the point where I put it on my wall. When a very insightful, perceptive person who is uncontrolled opposition and a man of honor puts something like this on his wall, you better believe that almost certainly he's right about it. Now let's talk about catfishing briefly and let's wrap this up, shall we? I'll make this the intro to this video because it's going to be like almost 20 minutes. So, the worst form of catfishing is lying about who you are, okay? Lying about a job and all this stuff, is materialistic stuff anyway. It's still not right, but it's certainly nowhere near as bad as lying about who you are, as far as how you look. Because naturally, that's how the connections are made. We naturally are attracted to each other's beauty, and then there's something about the person and so on. But if you're lying about how you look in the first place, there's no way you can see that it's something about this person, because you're looking at somebody and you're getting this idea in your head that, oh, there's something about this person, but it's not even the right person, So that's way worse. It doesn't even come close, really. It's for the same reason that being attracted to beauty, is nowhere near as bad as being attracted to money. And the fact that I have to explain this to people, and that there are people who try to compare this and say, it's their flesh and it's of this world, so on and so forth. And it goes back to the book cover thing I told you, that the cover of the book does say something about the person if you know what to look for, if you have insight. For example, if somebody was dead and wasn't there, and they were just in spirit, you wouldn't be able to see them in the first place, so you wouldn't know to be attracted to them or not. You wouldn't say, well, there's a presence in this room that I'm in love with, So anyway, now that we got that out of the way, let's briefly discuss the different personality types, make sure they're all in there. So you have the control freaks, right? You have the ghetto, petty people, like, so what if I do this type of person, the obnoxious people. You have the dirty Satanist type of people. You have the drug addict type of people. They all are very worldly. Gang stalkers are worldly. They couldn't be spiritual for the life of them, but they'll pretend to be. They'll dress up, though they might go to little gatherings, they might go to church, but at the end of the day, they're very worldly. And keep in mind, there's some gang stalkers who are in my family, and they just don't know better, man. They just don't know better. Like, they know how to take things seriously. They know how to pray, and to take it seriously, But sometimes I wonder if it's because it's a tradition, it's their culture, and not because really they are spiritual. Because you cannot be spiritual and be a gang stalker. For the same reason you cannot be spiritual and be, somebody who is participating in MK Ultra. You cannot be spiritual and be a Nazi, in Nazi Germany, okay? It's just impossible. Spiritual people do not do these things. That's like saying, well, he's spiritual and he's a pedophile. Or he's spiritual and he's a serial killer, an unrepentant sinner. You can't be a spiritual bottom feeder and be spiritual. You can't be a pedophile who's unrepentant and who's still a pedophile and be spiritual. So last, I'm going to briefly cover, before I forget, that they'll say, well, you're talking about childish traits and you live at home. Jesus was homeless and had his work required him to stay at home with, with the Virgin Mary. He would have done so, okay? Sacrificing your future so that you cannot get on your feet, means nothing. We also know that I have thousands of dollars. If I wanted to, I could move out, and it's just logically, economically, it doesn't make sense, so I don't do it, okay? So you have to make the distinction between somebody who is lazy, who lives at home and plays video games all day, and somebody who makes videos and thinks deeply and does what's, pretty much doing a charitable act. Somebody who's given their all to the world, the same way somebody who gives their all to charity would, and lives in a third world country in a hut. So therefore, you'll see people make nonsensical arguments. They'll hide behind social norms, and forsake the truth. And that is childish. That is cowardice. Look at the screen, okay? These are the traits. Someone who hides behind social norms to say that a man of God who's given everything and lives with his parents is a man-child is, by definition, selfish. By definition, shallow. By definition, materialistic. By definition, of course, they're a conformist. Of course, they're a coward. Of course, think about it. Of course, they're evil, and of course, they're a liar. So they are the childish one, not the man of honor who gave up everything. And the fact that you're going to find materialistic dogs trying to argue with me is absolutely reprehensible. Thank you. So I woke up in the middle of the night, as I often do. Right now it's 3:43 in the morning. I go downstairs for, a snack. And I see my mom sleeping on the couch. Okay. And she's not coughing. So I start thinking, what could truly be the cause of her coughing? And then it hits me, perhaps it is not the gas in the vent. It is them spraying me at night. I wake up in the middle of the night. I open my door. I open the window next door. I turn on the fan and it airs out this place. But where does it go? Perhaps it goes downstairs a little bit. But it also goes down the hall. Down the hall. You see, Western culture has allowed for this. Western culture is inferior. It is not just that it allowed for the drugging to take place, it allowed for the indifference. And what is the reason for the indifference? Is there some profound spiritual reason for doing this? No. It is materialism. And that is why in this video I am putting up the thing on my wall that says 32-word reasons we should declare Western culture inferior. You see, if I was to debate the people on, I forgot what it was called, it's some IQ, IQ squared, the IQ squared debates, I believe it's called, who said that Western culture was superior, and the topic was, should we declare Western culture superior? To the insightful mind, I would win. But to the social conformist who wouldn't dream of declaring Western culture inferior or not being able to say Western culture is superior, no matter what you say, of course they wouldn't concede. We live in this world of people who have false pride, who are materialistic, who have very childish traits. Okay? The reason why this is playing out like this, like the way it is because of Western culture. Period. My parents' inability to transcend Western culture has caused them to do this. And they have justified it in a very tragic way. They have said, well, we're trying to come out with this company to bring medicine to help people. And if we go against the powers that be, they're not going to let us do it. But what it really translates to is, yeah, we'll get some money. They'll lay off our back a little bit and pretend like we're the great people for, helping them do it. But we're just giving them the power to determine who gets treated when, where, and how. We're just inventing something for them to use. Really, it's no better than somebody who invented the atom bomb. They talk about the power of life or death. This is power to the spiritual bottom feeders, nevertheless, so that they can bring in their new world order. And because of this Western culture and a lack of religious conviction, they have taken the stance that they have, a stance that I myself would not have taken. Instead, I would have taken them to war. In their shoes, I would have declared publicly what is going on, so that the whole community can see that one of the most respected people in Santa Clara County has decided to go against the government because how they are treating him, and that even a black brain surgeon and his National Merit Scholar General Surgeon wife are not being treated fair by this oppressive racist system. So that the best thing to do is to fight back. It falls upon every black scholar to fight back, because they are undermining what revolutionaries are trying to do by bootlicking instead. They are sending the message that, well, you know, these other blacks are complaining for no reason. We can make it and it's not so bad. It's the wrong message to send. We could inspire every single race, white, Jewish, black, yellow, every race, to fight back against these lowly dogs. But instead, you will not carry your cross as I am, as I do. And so you are undermining the efforts of people who put their lives on the line and accept death to fight for change. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. All you petty black people who are given a little money so that you can brag about how special you are to the black communities, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Look at yourselves. You're soulless whores. You're spiritual bottom feeders. You're childish ninnies. Look at yourselves, you cowards. Shame on you. Shame on you. You have betrayed the ancestors. You have betrayed your people, your family. You have betrayed God. You have betrayed all of humanity. Shame on you. But the struggle continues. You will be seen as the dogs that you are. We will remember who didn't carry their cross, who sold out so they could brag and get materialistic whores on their team. And all you catfish whores that took advantage, you petty whores. Well, I like having my weed. I like, my position in society. Well, I'm a fucking ugly hag that no one appreciates and I just wanted to have fun and feel good. You're a catfish whore. You have no excuse. Work on yourself inside and out. Stop being a fucking decrepit hag. Imagine when you're old. You'll be a decrepit old geezer fucking hag. Fuck's wrong with you? Bunch of ninnies and weaklings. It's disgusting. Fucking disgusting. Detestable. Unbearably wicked, evil, and pathetic. You're pitiful. You're disgraceful. Dishonorable, ignoble, evil. Fuck's wrong with you people? In this battle between good and evil, you are on the wrong side. And when you are dying, if you have a chance to be dying and to reflect, it will probably hit you that you gave up all prospects of a peaceful and divine afterlife for your petty drug habit, for your petty indulgence in these materialistic items, shiny things, cute little clothes, a cute little car. Shame on you. Even if you had gained the world, you would have still lost your soul and it still wouldn't have been worth it. But look at the petty crumbs that you've sold out for. You've sold everybody you know and love out for. You selfish, ugly, inside and out, pitiful whores. Fuck's wrong with you? At least my parents, they sold out thinking, as naive and gullible as it is, that magically they could give this, this medicine to the people that need it. But you pitiful, drug-addicted, materialistic, petty whores. My dad's a brain surgeon. He doesn't drive a BMW or a Benz. He drives a car of the middle class. Lower middle class, even. My mom doesn't dress in fucking fine jewelry. She dressed in rags, pretty much. But you people, look what you've sold out for. There are varying degrees of evil. And pitifulness, selling out for pathetic reasons, is pretty damn evil. You're almost as bad as the serial killers. You're almost as bad as the people in charge because you sold your soul, something priceless and divine that God gave you, for pathetic, petty, little nonsense. Nonsense. You nonsensical fools. You shallow cowards. Have some heart. Have some dignity. Have some humanity. Have some common sense. What is wrong with you people? Don't you see innocent people are dying all the time and you betray them? You are complicit in their deaths for some petty fucking jewelry and some meth and cocaine and pathetic little drugs? even if you have to be homeless and starve to death, which wouldn't happen because we're in America where they have shelters and fucking soup kitchens. Shame on you. People who lived in a time where there were no shelters or soup kitchens carried their cross and starved to death in the cold. And look at you. Look at you. You cowards. You weaklings. Then there's something about the person and so on. But if you're lying about how you look in the first place, you know, there's no way you can see that there's something about this person, because you're looking at somebody and you're getting this idea in your head that, oh, there's something about this person, but it's not even the right person, you know. So that's way worse. It doesn't even come close, really. I know that these are the traits of gang stalkers to the point where I put it on my wall. When a very insightful, perceptive person who is uncontrolled opposition and a man of honor puts something like this on his wall, you better believe that almost certainly he's right about it. Stuff anywhere. It's still not right, but it's certainly nowhere near as bad as lying about who you are, you know, as far as how you look. Because naturally, you know, that's how the connections are made. We naturally are attracted to each other's beauty, and, you know. Now let's talk about catfishing briefly, and let's wrap this up, shall we? I'll make this the intro to this video because it's going to be like almost 20 minutes. So, the worst form of catfishing is lying about who you are, okay? Lying about a job and all this stuff, you know, is materialistic. So the same reason that being attracted to beauty, you know, is nowhere near as bad as being attracted to money. And the fact that I have to explain this to people, and there are people who try to compare this and say, you know, it's their flesh and it's of this world, so on and so forth.